Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a drill. The financial world is on fire tonight as the Iraqi Dinar IQD and Vietnamese Dong VND have just revalued live on national television. After years of speculation, rumors, and endless waiting, we finally have confirmation. The CBI, Central Bank of Iraq, and SBV, State Bank of Vietnam, have released the new official rates to the world. The market is stunned. Social media is exploding, and right now we are about to break down exactly what this means for you, your currency holdings, and the global economy. Stay locked in, because if you have been holding IQD or VND, this could be the most important broadcast you will ever watch. Here's what just happened, and I need you to pay close attention, because what I'm about to tell you is not a rumor, not speculation, not another internet theory. At exactly 8:00 p.m. Baghdad time, the Central Bank of Iraq made the announcement we have been waiting years, some of you decades, to hear, live on national television, in front of the entire nation and the global financial community. The CBI revealed Iraq's new official exchange rate, and it is historic. The Iraqi Dinar is now officially pegged at 3.91 USD per IQD, a level that brings the currency back in line with its pre-war strength. This isn't just a number on a screen. This is a symbol of Iraq's economic recovery, of stability, of sovereignty. It is a message to the world that Iraq is back on the international financial stage, and it is open for business. But that was just the opening shot. Minutes later, in an equally shocking development, the State Bank of Vietnam confirmed its own long-anticipated revaluation. The Vietnamese Dong, a currency that for years traded at fractions of a penny, has been officially revalued to 1.23 USD per VND. Yes, you heard that correctly. Two of the most talked about exotic currencies on earth have just made the leap that millions of investors have been waiting for, simultaneously on the same historic night. And this wasn't some quiet technical update buried on a government website. This wasn't leaked in obscure chat rooms or whispered about in secret conference calls. No, this was broadcast live. Anchors on Iraqi state television were visibly emotional as they read the announcement. The broadcast cut to the governor of the central bank standing at a podium, confidently confirming the new rate and outlining Iraq's future economic roadmap. Within minutes, financial networks across the globe were airing the news. Screens in Dubai, Singapore, Zurich, London, and New York lit up with the new rates. Trading terminals updated in real time. Forex screens went vertical. This was history, not just being written, but being televised, streamed, and shared across every platform simultaneously. And the reaction instant, explosive, unstoppable. In Dubai, currency dealers closed their counters temporarily as they recalibrated rates and prepared for the first wave of redemptions. In Singapore, private bankers began calling high-net-worth clients to confirm appointments. In London and Frankfurt, traders scrambled to adjust positions as the Forex market recalculated valuations on trillions of dollars of currency holdings. On Wall Street, after-hours trading spiked as hedge funds repositioned for what could be one of the most dramatic capital flows of the decade. Gold and silver prices shot up within minutes as investors moved quickly to hedge volatility. Oil markets, closely tied to Iraq, saw an immediate jump in futures as confidence in Iraq's purchasing power surged. But perhaps the most powerful reaction came from ordinary people, from you, from me, from the millions of quiet, patient investors around the world who have held IQD and VND through years of mockery and doubt. Social media exploded within minutes. Hashtags like John, Iraqi Dinar, Vietnam Dong, IQDRV, and global currency reset started trending worldwide. Videos of celebrations began flooding in, people crying tears of joy, opening safes, and showing their neatly stacked currency, calling family members in disbelief. Some were live streaming from their living rooms, champagne in hand, saying, "It finally happened. We did it." This is more than a financial event. This is an emotional one. For so many, this journey has been long and difficult. You've held on through endless rumors, countless "this is the week" predictions, and the constant chorus of critics who called this impossible. You've seen people sell off their currency in frustration, walk away, or dismiss this as a dream that would never come true. And yet here we are. The rates are live, the announcements are public, and the numbers are flashing across every major financial network in the world. This is the moment you prepared for, and let's be clear, This is not just about speculators getting rich. This is about nations restoring their rightful place in the global economy. Iraq has spent years rebuilding its financial infrastructure, securing its gold reserves, stabilizing its oil exports, and negotiating with the IMF and World Bank to meet international compliance standards. Vietnam has been quietly transforming into one of Asia's fastest-growing economies, attracting foreign direct investment and aligning its currency policy with global standards. Tonight, both countries have sent a message: we are ready, and the implications are enormous. This revaluation doesn't just impact individual investors, it has the power to reshape trade balances, attract foreign investment, and shift the economic center of gravity in entire regions. The Middle East and Southeast Asia just gained massive purchasing power over. For those of you holding IQD or VND, this is not the time to panic or rush. This is the time to stay calm, check the rates, get your documentation ready, and make intelligent decisions. The banks work for you. You are not at their mercy. The world has waited a long time for this moment, and now it is here. This is history in real time, and you are part of it. The reaction was instant and electric. The moment the Central Bank of Iraq's announcement hit the airwaves, it was as if the entire global financial system jolted awake at the same time. Trading terminals lit up, alerts went out, and Forex traders scrambled to update their system. Dealers, brokers, and analysts, all of them were suddenly in motion, recalculating their models, calling clients, and rushing to lock in positions before the dust settled. Currency dealers in the Middle East, Europe, and Asia shut down temporarily to adjust rates on their screen. Many even put up closed for recalibration notices as they worked behind the scenes to sync their rates with the new reality. The world's largest currency exchanges were forced to pause trading briefly as algorithms were reprogrammed and spreads recalculated. This was not business as usual. This was a once-in-a-generation event. And then, the metals market roared to life. Gold spiked as investors rushed into hedges, driving prices higher in minutes. Silver followed suit, with futures contracts seeing a surge in trading volume that broke quarterly records. For seasoned traders, this was confirmation that a true macroeconomic shift was underway. For years, gold has been seen as the safety play when currencies move, and tonight it became the safe harbor for those caught off guard by the sudden revaluation. In New York, Wall Street saw after-hours volatility like we haven't seen in years. The Dow Jones futures swung violently as investors tried to digest what the revaluation meant for oil prices, global trade, and emerging market equities. Hedge funds scrambled to adjust currency hedges and unwind shorts that had been betting on IQD and VND weakness. The volume of after-hours trades was so intense that several brokerage platforms experienced brief slowdowns and outages. Across the Atlantic in London, traders were glued to their screens as IQD and VND pairs were recalibrated in real time. Phones rang off the hook on trading floors as clients demanded live updates. Some traders compared the energy to the night of Brexit or the early hours of the 2008 financial crisis. Except this time, the mood was one of astonishment and opportunity, not fear. In Dubai, HSBC and Emirates, NBD, reported queues forming outside their premier branches within an hour of the announcement. In Singapore, DBS Bank extended its private banking hours into the early morning to handle a sudden influx of requests from high-net-worth individuals looking to exchange their holdings at the new rate. But perhaps the most powerful reaction didn't come from trading floors or bank offices. It came from ordinary people. The millions of quiet, patient investors who had quietly accumulated IQD and VND over the past decade finally saw their day arrive. Social media erupted in a tidal wave of emotion. There were posts of tears streaming down faces as families celebrated together, screenshots of live news broadcasts being shared like trophies, and even live streams of people opening safes to show their stacks of carefully preserved currency. TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube lit up with celebratory videos, music playing, glasses clinking, people thanking God for answered prayers. One viral clip showed a father sitting his children down at the kitchen table and saying, "Your college is paid for, we did." Another showed a veteran who had bought IQD during his deployment in Iraq, holding the notes in his hands and saying, "This just changed everything for my family." The tone was universal relief, gratitude, and joy. And beyond the noise, beyond the excitement, one clear message began to rise above the chaos. The RV is real, the wait is over, For years, the global dinar and dong community has endured skepticism, ridicule, and frustration. Critics said it was impossible. Economists dismissed it as a pipe dream. Friends and family told many of you to just give up, to cash out what little value you had and move on. But tonight all of that faded away as cold, hard numbers appeared on live television screens and on Forex terminals around the world. This is not a rumor. This is not speculation. This is not one more in a long line of next week promises. This is confirmed. This is live. And it is shaking the global financial system to its core. What we are witnessing is more than just a currency adjustment. This is a realignment of economic power, a recognition of Iraq's and Vietnam's place in the new financial order. And for those who believed enough to prepare, who held through the ups and downs, through the rumors and delays, this is a once-in-a-lifetime reward for patience and faith. Tonight you can feel the shift. You can feel the energy. The revaluation is no longer an abstract concept discussed in forums and Zoom calls. It is a reality unfolding in real time, a reality that is transforming lives. Right now as we speak, rates are live worldwide. Imagine the world waking up to flashing tickers, IQD at 3.91s, VND at 1. For the first time in modern history, both currencies are trading at parity level strength against the U.S. Authorized banks, licensed currency dealers and redemption centers from Dubai to Zurich are updating their digital boards. But here's the truth. Just because the rates are posted doesn't mean you need to sprint to the first teller. In fact, those who pause, observe and compare often walk away with better deals. Remember, liquidity is not the same everywhere. A dealer in London may offer slightly different spreads than a bank in Singapore. Your job is not to chase. Your job is to verify. Think of it like a chess game. The first move doesn't win. The best move does. Rates may fluctuate slightly in the first 24-48 hours. As global systems stabilize, the disciplined investor recognizes this and acts with precision, not panic. Tiered processing has begun. Behind the scenes, Tier 4B clients, high net worth groups, and those who pre-registered are already being processed. These individuals were notified through private channels, scheduled discrete appointments, and in some cases already exchanged before the public even saw the announcement. Does this mean you've missed out? Absolutely not. What it means is that the system is organized. Banks need to control traffic, avoid chaos, and manage liquidity efficiently. After Tier 4B comes the broader public rollout, and this is where most of us step in. Your advantage. By observing how the first wave is treated, you can learn. You'll see reports of what documentation was required, how long appointments took, and what initial spreads looked like. This intelligence gives you a tactical edge. If you're willing to wait a few hours or even a day, you may avoid unnecessary stress and gain clarity. Think of it as boarding a plane. VIPs may get on first, but the flight doesn't leave without the rest of the passengers. You control the timing. This is where mindset becomes everything. The banks don't control you, you control the bank. They need your business as much as you need their services. One of the biggest mistakes investors make after a major financial shift is panic exchanging. They see a number, they feel urgency, and but here's the reality. When you hold currency that has just revalued to historic highs, you are sitting on leverage, and leverage means choice. Check multiple banks, call ahead, ask the right questions. What is today's rate? What are the fees? Do you offer private client services? How quickly can funds be made available? By treating this like a business negotiation, you elevate yourself above the average customer. A calm, confident approach ensures that you don't just walk out with cash, you walk out with options. For prior, prepared documentation, this is where many people stumble. They walk into a bank unprepared and face delays, suspicion or even rejection. But not you. Here's what you'll need: a valid passport or government-issued proof of purchase, receipts, or contracts showing when and where you acquired your currency, source of funds letters. Particularly if your holdings are large, banks want to ensure your money is clean and legitimate. Why does this matter? Because global anti-money laundering laws are strict. Compliance isn't just paperwork, it's the gatekeeper to your freedom. By preparing these documents ahead of time, you send a powerful message. You're not just a dreamer with a stack of notes. You're a serious law-abiding investor ready for prime time. 5. Leverage wealth advisors. Let's talk big picture. If you're exchanging hundreds of thousands, maybe you can get by on your own. But if you're stepping into 7 or 8 figures, everything changes. This isn't about cashing out. This is about creating generational wealth. Advisors, private bankers, and trust specialists exist for this exact moment. They don't just exchange your money. They structure your future. They'll help you with trust formation to protect your assets, tax strategies that minimize your liability, diversification into real estate, equities, bonds, and digital assets, estate planning so your family benefits long after you're gone. Think of them as architects. You've just acquired the bricks of wealth. Now it's time to design the mansion. And without the right blueprint, even the biggest pile of bricks can collapse. Final reminder, you didn't hold through years of doubt, mockery, and endless maybe next week rumors, just to hand over your fortune carelessly. You endured the storm for this sunrise moment. That means every choice you make now matters. Be strategic, be deliberate, be patient, because this is more than an exchange. This is your transformation. You've waited for this. You endured the doubts, the jokes, the endless next week predictions, and here you are at the finish line. This is not just about money. It's about freedom. It's about wiping away debt, funding your children's future, taking care of your parents, and leaving a legacy that lasts generations. But here's the most important part. Stay calm, stay focused, and stay smart. The ones who will truly win in 2025 are those who plan, act strategically, and protect their wealth for the long term. When you sign that last document and see the balance hit your account, you will remember this moment for the rest of your life, and you will know it was worth it.